What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology Athenian League action in the right-hand corner of the map. Spawning as the Blue Isis. His name is Apoy. Apoy there, matey! No, I'm sorry. That was terrible. That was very bad. That was no good. His opponent today, however, in the red color, playing as Odin, his name is Isomarto. Isomarto, the great Isomarto, the wise, and all the other good stuff that comes with that. We are on the map Tundra here. This is Athenian League. I already said that, but let me say it again for those of you tuning in just now, not really understanding what the Athenian League is. Well, it's season 3 of the Athenian League. Where have you been? What have you been doing? Living under a rock? This is not a low level tournament. This is a league that is for all players outside of the top tier. Basically, there's an 1800 plus league, there's a 1700 plus league, there's a 1600 plus league, there's a 1500 plus league, or 1500 to 1599, 1600 to 1699. And there's a whole bunch of games going on with a whole bunch of different people getting involved, casting, covering them, streaming their own games, having a good time. It's going to be a very, very fun tournament to follow. Huge shout out, as always, to the great man himself, Chrono JJ, for hosting and all the other good stuff that happens. Anyways, let's see how this game's going to go, because it's going to be a fun one. I think we've got two very, very strong players here. I think Isomarto is making a name for himself quite recently. He's starting to really get to that upper echelon of Age of Mythology kind of level. Plays a lot of different gods. Very, very strong player. I've taken games off myself and a whole bunch of other people recently, so he's a guy to look out for. I also lost to Apoy recently on a Mediterranean map. I'm going to go ahead and say that somebody was being a little bit silly in that game, and that's fine. But nonetheless, we are seeing Apoy here doing a nice little monument to the villagers tech at the start here. He's getting that extra little favor so that he can get himself his technology in, which he's already got, but he's also empowered it even further. So this means that he's going to be having quite a bit more favor than otherwise. As look at this, 0.15 favor a second by doing this. He is missing out on a lot of drop-offs here from the villagers, however, which is not something you want to be doing. If you're going to be doing this sort of micro thing, you have to really follow it very, very closely. Otherwise, you miss out on too many resources. So a little bit of a mistake from Apoy, but trying to go for the hyper optimal Isis opening to get as much stuff as he possibly can. Whether that's going to be for a fast Feet of the Jackal tech, or an extra couple of the Nubites, or something. He's obviously very, very interested in making that happen. Dropping a second monument is often very stock standard as well when going for those sort of openings. You can go for a second town center here if you want. But oftentimes I actually think that Tundra for Isis, it's much more of a one town center game. You've got 2 packs of Hunt in your main base. You've got the guaranteed same amount of herdables as your opponent as well. So it means that they're not going to be able to stay in their base at that mid-game point of like 10-ish minutes. They're going to have to leave their base at that point, which does mean that if you aim for a nice timing attack at that stage, you can cut them off of all the food, all the gold and everything, and life can get very, very tough for them. But we are going to be seeing Apoy going through Anubis. He's dropping his second monument now on the left-hand corner of the map. We've got Isomarto here. He's gone through Freya, and he is going to be looking for some early game Valkyrie shenanigans as the Great Halls getting dropped down by Isomarto as well. He wants to open up with a bunch of raiding cavalry, but I am sure that on the other side here, Apoy is going to be wanting to open up with a whole bunch of spearmen. As we see the barracks getting dropped, double barracks. I think I watched Apoy do this already once, and he went for like 5 barracks right off the bat. Maybe that was someone else, I can't remember. But anyways, Isomarto on the retreat now. And the spammage of raiding cavalry will start right away. We've got a longhouse as well to make some throw and axemen just to deal with those spearmen. It's a bit of a difficult situation for the Odin player to deal with if he gets into the wrong position. So he has to play very, 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 very carefully with his army and his villages and make sure he plays a nice little go of it here to kick this game off. The reason why is because in an actual fight, these Anubites, they are a nightmare to deal with because you're going to make the Herser anyways. The Anubite's goal is to jump onto the throwing axeman. The spearman's goal is to be on top of the raiding cavalry. And then if you can do that perfectly, you're going to have a really, really good fight. You don't need that many slingers in your army at all if you have the right amount of Anubites in there. So conversely, Izumato also needs to make sure that his Herser are always in the right position, which is going to be in between his throwing axeman and his raiding cavalry. So raiding cavalry at the front, throwing axeman at the back, Herser in the middle, such that if the Anubites decide they want to jump in onto the raiding cavalry, he can deal with them. If they decide they want to jump in onto the throwing action, he can deal with them. If they decide they want to walk forward, start auto-attacking the raiding cavalry, and then jump onto the throwing axeman, he can deal with them that way as well. But nonetheless, the game to start developing here is both players jockeying around for just a little bit of position as the Feet of the Jackal, Serpent Spear queued up. Again, 2 monuments only at this stage of the game. Does mean it's going to take a little while to get those upgrades in. Going to take a little while to get those Anubites in, however. Boit looking to go for a little bit of a raid here. The walls coming up all over the place. Relics coming through. We haven't talked about those just yet. System of Bast to make villages a bit cheaper. And Arrows of the Alpha to make those buildings do a little bit more damage. On the other side here, Apoy has himself Black Lotus, which is going to make those farms a little bit more efficient. And finally, one last relic here. It looks like it is the Ring of Nibelung, which is going to be some gold increase. As the Anubites moving in here, one villager going down, almost getting that second villager as the Herser to come over here. Got to be so careful with these Anubite raids. For the first thing, you don't want them to jump in and get stuck in any tree lines. That sometimes happens. But more importantly is that the Valkyrie can chase them down. And then the raiding cavalry can chase them down. And then they're all going to die. As we do see them jumping over there as the spearmen come to save them. Nice play here from Apoy. Got to be careful not to take any fights just yet. He has not found any sort of advantage for his army in this game. Though he has got 2 villager kills, which is going to be giving himself just a little bit more of an edge here economically. It's always a bit funky as, you know, Egyptian starts with like, they start with the same amount of villagers, right? 3 and 3. Did Apoy lose any villagers or did he just have idle time? Because he's the only one who's killed them thus far. Nonetheless, the Anubites going to get healed up. Hand axe coming through as some villagers moving over onto the wood line here. Walls coming up onto the top there. As Apoy stretches out just that little bit too much. And Plague of Serpents actually forced out there. Izumato is going to be very, very happy about that one. As Forest Fire coming through and both players kind of moving back and forward. Villagers coming over here to grab the hunt onto that position. This is going to be a nice way to deal with all of those serpents there as they're all going to get cleaned up. Apoy still going for those jumps in and out. The question is, does he have enough stuff here to actually deal with the Thrown Axeman? As there we go, getting the Anubite on top of the Thrown Axeman there nicely as Izumato retreating into his burning forest to get out of there without losing too much. And you can see how difficult the fight is here for Izumato to actually take. But he deals with the Plague of Serpents nicely. Doesn't lose all too many units in that fight. He's got the healing to get himself back up. But so too does Apoy. But now Apoy managing to get himself his secondary hunt over here. Or third hunt, if you want to claim the outside hunt. And he can sit on this for a little bit while he masses up even more of a military advantage. So the next question actually here for Izumato is, how is he going to secure gold mine? So one idea would be to just get some walls set up nice and early over here, put some towers behind it as an idea. But other ideas could be to get to the heroic age nice and quick. Just keep spamming units and maybe try and take a really good fight if you can. And we'll see what's going on here. As the Anubites diving in. Nice control here from Izumato, just getting a little bit of kills. However, that's all that's going to happen. And Izumato keeps on taking this fight. I don't know if this is the best fight for him, but we'll see. As the Anubites are getting sniped down ever so slightly, but the Izumato throw and action are doing a great job of jockeying around this position as the slingers aren't really dealing with those throw and action all too well. The front line does end up falling there, and Izumato manages to find himself somewhat of an advantage here. The priests aren't that useful at the moment. However, one Anubite, if he heals that up with the priest, it could be gigantic here. Still on very low HP. This Anubite going to be going down. Izumato at the end of this fight does end up to almost lose on this one. As the Anubite does end up going down. One Valkyrie joining in, and these priests are now going to make very good use of themselves. The fight continuing along here as neither player wants to back out just yet. No gold at the moment for Apoy. He's moving his villagers onto a gold mine somewhere. Not the best time for that to happen. Same for Izumato here as well. Both players having that same problem. Both players having some idle time as well, as they're focused so much onto that fight there. Apoy back into the main base. It looks like, after all is said and done, somewhat of a dead even fight. However, Apoy losing on the pullback as those priests are going to be getting sniped down, and Apoy gonna have to figure out what to do next, as Izumato is going to be able to take this advantage and run with it. He's moving to the right point on the map where all the villagers are. He doesn't know that there's a gold mine here. He doesn't know that there's villagers here. He has to be assuming that something's going on there. However, Apoy smartly moving up to the top position to grab these Aurochs. He can move on to that gold mine as well. And now that the resources are starting to come through, there is room for a prosperity as an idea, as the raiding cavalry will come down to the bottom here and see these villages. Only a slight military advantage, however, for Izumato here, as Apoy can just turn around and shank this as the raiding cavalry to pull up to the top. Villagers get just a little bit of damage done, as he will be losing one there, but trading one for a raiding cavalry at this stage is actually a pretty good trade there, as Apoy really needs this gold here. This idle time that these raiding cavalry are getting is absolutely huge, as the spearmen coming through here. But even so, losing a raiding cavalry doesn't actually manage to snipe it, but losing a raiding cavalry that could have been gigantic, as Apoy makes a really nice move with those villagers pulling up here to grab those polar bears away from the raiding cavalry. And now the army, however, of Izumato is starting to look very, very scary. There's 0 favor in the bank for Apoy. He's got 2 priests. There's 3 Valkyrie out at the moment, with 2 more that can come through. Had Apoy not lost all those priests, he's probably fine here. But he needs to spam everything. He needs this Pharaoh in the fight for the next fight here to deal with those Valkyrie. Raiding with these Anubites is no longer an option, because the Valkyrie will be able to hunt them down. And we'll see. Well, we'll see if Apoy can bring this one back. But it's going to be a tough one. I think Izumato is giving him the time, actually, to deal with this. He's got a lot of units queued up. He's only got four barracks. Are they all training units? I think they are. He needs some more military buildings at this stage, as the army slowly starting to move out onto the map. I mean, he sees potentially a absolutely huge raid here onto Izumato's villages, as the Anubites dive forward, spearmen coming through. However, the army going to swing around, and even losing all these villages, he has to get out of here, because losing this army is going to be game ending to some degree. As the Valkyrie coming forward, we'll be able to snipe down some slingers. Do see some units coming over here, but Apoy is already in here with the spearmen. Over onto this side, a nice little cheeky raid from Apoy. He is everywhere on the map at the moment. These Valkyrie in hot pursuit. It might be worth to just turn around and take this fight. at the moment, as Aizomato now pushing forward with Throw and Axeman over here. Too much going on in this game, as all of the economy of Aizomato has been idled with these raids, as the Spearman turning, saying, oh, we can take this fight. The units mustering over here. It's still an equal game military resource value-wise. Slingers here need to micro on top of those Throw and Axeman. Aizomato not paying attention here as he runs forward. Will turn around onto this one, as the Priest's Pharaoh coming through. Going to be a huge help to take down the Shield Maiden Valkyrie there, as the Throw and Axemen do end up falling pretty quickly to those Slingers. Still a couple remaining there, as the upgrades aren't in. Aizomato's army falling all over the place. The little fight over here is the Anubite's going to be moving over onto the gold mine to get even more economic damage. And it looks to me like Aizomato is falling apart in this game. A quick turn, a decisive move from Apoy, but can he manage to push this advantage to the finish line here? He's thrown away some units underneath the town center fire here, going after the villagers. Up onto the top here, is just going to be keeping on that Aurochs, but nothing else happening, as the Valkyrie over here going to be going down. There is one big economic advantage still in the bank here for Apoy, which is prosperity. He's got the Pharaoh on the gold mine. He's got a ton of villagers up here. He just needs a mining camp. He's kind of missed on that one there for the time being, as the villagers moving up here to the gold mine. And we'll see how things are going to go, as the Valkyrie going to push through. Apoy does have one move. Not Apoy. Aizomato has one move here, which is going to be really, really difficult for Apoy to deal with, which is Valkyrie raids. 6.6 speed. Can't turn around and villager fight. These things have got a huge amount of HP, huge amount of damage. That has to be the angle, right? On the converse side, Apoy here, prosperity, go mythic, go heroic age. Through Nephthys is fine. Through Sobek is fine. Doesn't really matter at this stage. Both are going to be really, really useful. The Nephthys for some stronger priests to deal with these Shieldman Valkyrie. But nonetheless, he's decided to charge forward, taking the fight. For the time being, these Valkyrie getting a good amount of damage here, but the Spearmen do have that bleed. So while they're not amazing against the Valkyrie, they are getting some damage in. Apoy's just got so many more units than Aizomato at this point. So the Throw and Axeman trying to come through here. Spearman going to be pulling up some priests now to join in on the fight. As these Valkyrie will finally be going down. He retreats into his base here. Meanwhile, up onto the top side, the raiding cavalry will find a little bit of damage up here. As one Valkyrie finally goes down. Apoy just happily sitting in the main base. The villagers over here not doing anything. They're actually just dying. Apoy, too focused on other stuff, now decides to turn and take the fight. He does not have himself that survival equipment technology just yet, so these raiding cavalry will get some good kills. Have a look at the villager differential, 34 to 51. And the Spearmen, with no watchtowers in the main base, they don't care. They're just going to run in here and just get so much damage done. There's a raiding cavalry coming back up here, hitting the villagers yet again. Imagine if those were like the Valkyrie, though. It would have been a completely different story in terms of damage done. As Aizomato going to be losing some villagers yet again. And he's got zero food, 0 gold, and only wood income for the time being. As I don't see what Aizomato's angle is here moving forward in this game. He's going to lose all his villagers. He's trying to fight it out like a mad lad. But in the end here, he does have to tap out. And the game goes Apoy's way. 1-0 here in this best of 3. Now, it's a best of 3 where they play all of the games. But what a cracker of a first game here. Could have gone either way. Definitely mistakes on both sides early game, and that just caused all of this chaos. And in the end here, Apoy does manage to come out on top here for this first game. However, he will not be able to pick Isis again in this series. So keep that in the back of your mind. Going into game number 2, we'll see what Izamato is going to be picking. Alrighty, into game number 2 here as Apoy decides it's Zeus time. And on the bottom side, Izamato picking a very rare Loki here for Mediterranean. So Zeus versus Loki, we haven't actually seen a whole bunch of Norse on this map. Generally, in tournament, players are playing in the S tier tournaments, right? The players are playing a draft format, which does kind of force you to think about which map do the gods that I have give the best chance to win on, right? So normally you're going to see Greeks here, maybe see an Egyptian here, maybe see maybe an Atlantean to some degree, as people can maybe get something to happen there. Very rare to actually see players picking Norse on this map, because Norse is generally really, really good on land. Now, in a tournament like this, it doesn't really matter. You have to win. You got 3 games to play. Each win is a win, right? It doesn't matter where you play the gods. You either win or you don't. So Izamato here says Loki is a good chance for him. Why? Maybe he's prepared something for this map with Loki. Now, the problem is, the reason why we see so much Zeus Hades on this map is that the water is very important. It's not everything, mind you, but it's very, very important. So Restoration comes in as a god power, which is just really, really strong on this map. It heals up so many of the boats, gets them back up to full HP, and you can make a big push with it. Now, what does Loki have? Well, Loki does have Healing Spring. Drop a Healing Spring on the front here. It's 3 HP a second. Sit inside of your Healing Spring for the entirety of the fight. Play a very defensive game. And maybe, just maybe, you can survive that early game restoration, and then you can find an advantage playing here with Norse. Could be the way to go. Other sort of options, as I'm reading in the chat from Uros to remind me, there was a time, let me bring you back to the start of Retold. There was a time where fast heroic into god power, into the main base, and just ruining everyone's life with some insanely fast heroics was a very, very strong play. Plus, you also got the Kraken to help you out on the water as well, which could be an option for Izamato here. He could definitely go for something like that. But he's pulling back. He's going to be dropping the temple here, going for an incredibly late advance. Already has 2 docks up. Generally, 4:30 is the advance time that you want on a map like this. But Izamato says, screw the rules. Screw your logic and your meta. I'm going to do what I feel like. Whereas Apoy, he is very good on this map. Very, very good. He knows how to play it. And we'll see how things are going to go. He's already got himself double storehouse placement, getting himself probably a hand axe at some point as well as the Forseti coming through for Izamato at the bottom. And still only 2 docks though. If you're going to advance later, you really need to make sure you get that 3rd dock in. Reason being, the reason being is that you're just going to have so much more income, so many more resources that you haven't been able to spend coming through. So getting that 3rd dock up seems to me to be very, very important. Now, Apoy here opening up with double trireme, and he's going to be looking to put a huge amount of pressure in very, very quickly here. There's the trireme rolling forward. And those fishing ships will need to garrison here. They can get a little bit of return fire from the dock. But with the side docks here, that does get scouted by Apoy. He will see at least one side dock over there as the Minotaur going to be coming through. We do have the Hersa moving up onto this side, searching for the Minotaur that's moving into the main base here. We have got a whole bunch of dragon ships to come through to deal with these trireme. as well as the Dreki, as a great defense here thus far. Basically erases one trireme. However, you've got to be careful with the other dragon ships. He does not have the strongest ships here. Well, there's the stronger amount of numbers. Losing boats at this point is not going to be ideal, as we do have a longhouse coming through. The Minotaur gets pushed back. Jason coming through to get even more pressure in, as Apoy is playing this like a seasoned veteran all over Izamato from the get-go here. Like I said, Healing Spring on the shore is an option here for Izamato, but not going for it just yet. Could heal up those boats. They've got a lot of HP, so it's a lot of value. As the Jason continues to get chased away by Berserk. I think the Jason wins this fight, to be honest. But nonetheless, more boats coming through as Izamato gets himself up a healthier amount of stuff here. He could look to try and push into the main base and try and get some damage done. As the fishing ship's retreating into the dock, getting some good damage done. The defense here from these docks is really, really helpful, as these Dreki pushing forward, managing to get on top of those juggernauts there, and all of a sudden the boat numbers here are looking very, very similar. And Izamato has found a really big advantage here. He'll be able to finish off those juggernauts, and then he can start making a whole bunch of longboats here, so he can start taking out the enemy Pentacontas as well. But no restoration to come through just yet, and it looks like Izamato has got through the worst of it in the early game. However, like I said, still a restoration available, so we'll see how things are going to go as Izamato pulling back. Still no Healing Spring down, which is making you a bit upset. If just for reference, take a look at the amount of healing it could do, like or range it could do. If you put it over here or put it over here, for example, and then you can just sit inside of this healing range. It's fairly big, and you can get those boats up to full HP, and then that can play around the restoration to some degree. But for now, Izamato taking his time. Going to be trying to get a little bit of scouting information with the Dreki here. Charges forward. Just trying to see some stuff. We are seeing the Pentaconda raids coming through as well. Snipes the fishing ship and then gets out of there. Great play from Apoy. As the game continues along, heading back in to hit a fishing ship yet again. Won't quite snipe it, but it almost gets taken out there. Lots of low HP, on fire fishing ships. This is going to be a town center sort of angle. I love this wall as well from Apoy, but one idea here from Izamato is to get in onto this right side, wall this off, and then put all the pressure over here and look for a gold staff now. Losing the water at this point is not going to be that big of a deal, because you can see, look at the gold. 1,000 left. Not that much. As Izamato retreats into his Healing Spring, finally decides to drop it. As the fishing ships need to garrison yet again, but he's not fighting underneath all the docks. They are getting a little bit of damage done, but it's looking to me like Apoy very simply can drop restoration now. He's going to be able to clean up the remainder of these boats, win water, and Izamato needs to figure out what to do next. He's still pumping Dreki though. I'm not sure he's going to be able to quite hold here. There's too many triremes to take out those Dreki that are coming out. And while if he kills off the Juggernauts, actually, maybe he can hold the water for a little bit longer, because those are the units you need to take out the docks. Meanwhile, into the main base, a little bit of harass here, but the heroes are already in there to defend. Great awareness from Apoy. He's playing really, really well. He's playing really, really well. However, winning the fight here, there's still a ways to go. There is still a ways to go here for Apoy. And all the fishing ships idled is a big deal. Now, Izamato can just spam dwarfs out at the moment, so he can keep his economy going really, really well. Shuffle villagers off of wood over onto food. Does not need that wood too much. Going for a talent center here makes some sense. But Apoi's going for a talent center at the moment. Which makes... I mean, this is a very, very greedy. This is like a... I guess it's like a veteran move, so to speak, because this is just what you do. But this is very, very... In this specific situation, it is very greedy. Just on the fact that Izumato could not have gone for a talent center and could have had buildings coming up everywhere. And like I said, walling off this side here and looking for maybe a tower behind it just to lock the position off. And especially because he saw the hearse over there. And then just all the pressure onto this side. Run over this way, break down this wall to shuffle over here as well. No problems. But Izumato is still trying to defend. And he does manage to do so. He's held on. I mean, he's getting a little bit... He doesn't have that many fishing ships remaining. But he has managed to hold on. Meanwhile, Apollo, pre-queued. That's going to be a ways away after just grabbing that town center. The town center up for Izumato as well now. This is a very strange game. I'm actually... I mean, compliments here to Izumato. I would not have gone for this angle, but he's managed to make it work. He's caught Apoi a little bit off guard. Like I said, normally you don't go for this because if you read that someone's going to keep pumping ships, you just keep pumping ships and then you are just going to constantly be in front. But Izumato defends really, really well here. As he's poking forward a little bit with these dragon ships, going to be losing some units underneath the dock there. Now has to pull back. And I imagine, look at the resources. Izumato getting his armory up. He wants to go to the heroic age. Now do you go for... There's two angles here. You go for either Njord. You do have one unique tech. Not that useful for your Krakens. Makes them much stronger. There's 83 favor in the bank though. So spamming those Krakens out and getting it could make sense. Or you can go for Bragi, and there is this long serpent tech, which makes your longboats a little bit stronger. So that could be another angle. Whereas on the other side, you've got Apollo, which is going to give you an astrophy, which makes your Pentacontas a little bit stronger, which can help you much more in these sort of engagements. As it looks like Izumato yet again using this sort of alcove. What do you call this? This shoreline beautifully. 3 docks to help out to take out the Pentaconta. However, with this amount, all of these boats are going to fall. And yet again, Izumato loses the water, or loses control of the water for the time being, and he might lose all these docks as well. He does have heavy warships coming through, and this might be a long serpent sort of angle here. Flaming weapons does affect ships, yes. It affects all non-myth units. All military except for myth units, I believe. As the unit's moving up onto this side, he sees the gold mine. His army is on the wrong side here to get in and get damage done, because this could be so much damage here. Does grab this heavy warships tech. No, he decides to cancel it as a hill fort to come down on this side. I love this. If he can then rotate around, this could be gigantic. Again, a wall and rotate around to this side. He just doesn't have anything over here as the villagers to move forward. Will Apoi go for a third town? He's going for the third town center. This is good for him because it's going to lock off at least this position. Izumato can still swing around the bottom side to come and lock off these 2 gold mines. But this is going to be a lot of good economy now to come through for Apoi. As the Kraken to go down. Sort of gets left there sitting, not doing a whole lot. The docks to go down afterwards. And Apoi claims the water. Claims an extra town center. There is a tech advantage for Izumato. Plus, he's also Loki, so if he actually takes a fight, he's going to make get some more economy going in with free myth units as well. But for the time being, we see some portable rams coming through, and Izumato is going to look for effectively just going through the main base. As a whole bunch of military buildings now popping up for Apoi, he's got to know that he needs units in. He's going heroic age, which will give even more of a timing over to Izumato here, because that's a lot of resources that are being spent not on military here. There's a military academy to go down. Apoi's archery range going to be falling here as well. Watchtowers to come in as well. There's a lot of rams here. This is going to be very brutal for Boit. He's got himself a lot of resources though. He needs a lot more villagers on gold, so he can actually get some stuff out. As the rams to charge forward, Boit is going to the heroic age in this town center. As the villagers going to turn around, start shanking. There's really not that many in here. The hoplites to come and help out, however. More rams coming through. A bolt onto one of the portable rams as flaming weapons gets dropped, but there's nothing here. There's nothing here. Does this get hit? I think it does, but it's not going to be enough. The heroic age comes through, and Izamato doesn't even manage to kill the town center with his flaming weapons attack. That was such a panic from Izamato to get that attack in, and it just does not work out for him. The heroes are out, taking down the myth units. He's going to get himself very quickly more eco-ups, more everything. And Izamato has to pull back. And where to next? He's still got all of this position. He doesn't have the town center over here up. He still has a villager advantage, but that's not going to last for very long. I mean, he's got all the fishing ships. He did kill off a lot of villagers, I guess. But the military differential is the problem now. And there's also Peltast on the table, which means you have to figure out how to deal with those. So Huskal and things like that are going to be a must. And not only that, units, you hate to see this. Units just going down along the shoreline here, and Boit just loving every minute of this. Absolutely loving every minute of this. This is one of those things where it's like, I don't know if it's not possible, I don't think. I'd love to see rally points. Like dynamic rally points. So you could shift click rally points. I'm not sure if that's a thing or not yet. In any of the Age of Empires games, actually. Dynamic rally points, please. When? Meanwhile, Sultan 4 up. Now coming through. Huge amounts of throwing axemen queued up, but there's only 4 longhouses. Izamato going to pump out a whole bunch of portable rams as well. There's the houses to come down over here as well. A lot of hoplites to come through for Boit. But here's the thing now. Boit's got Underworld. What are you going to do as Izamato here against Underworld? Like, you need to always have the portable rams out so that if the Underworld comes in, you can just charge through into the main base and just kill it off. You maybe lose your main base as well, but then you're going to be able to kill off your opponent's main base and then move around and defend another position. As here comes the Underworld passes, the Dwarves going to be pulling away. And we actually see Izamato considering pulling back here to defend against this, but he needs to simply just go for the jugular here. He's got the portable rams yet again to break through this position. Hoplites into the main base. There's some berserks actually getting converted here in an attempt to defend this. Does he have the portable rams? He's got 3 rams. He's got 5 rams actually. As a Peltas popping through here. The Goaty need to be controlled at the moment to take out that Manticore. They are not doing so in the slightest. Town center going down. Over onto this side, the hoplites do get cleaned up, and this movement here from Izamato working beautifully, it looks like. However, the Rams do end up getting taken down. Battle War over here going to be going down as well. A nice Valkyrie spawn, but it is looking like at the moment Izamato has found himself a little bit of a military edge here. Still trying to get more Rams in, trying to break through here. The control of the Rams hasn't been super optimal. He's just tried to just rush them straight in to kill off the town center. Boit managing to take them out pretty nicely here. As Izamato to pull back. He's down a lot of income per minute here at the moment, considering the villager differential plus the fact there's fishing ships on the on the map as well. That does not get into the villages here, as we see the berserks over here going to be getting sniped down. I think he also got himself, he got himself this tech, Valhalla's Chosen. So every berserk that falls gives 0.5 favor, which is a lot. However, look at this from a Boit. He's got 268 favor. What is he saving up for? Like another Plenty Vault or another Lightning Storm potentially? Or a Restoration, it looks like. As the Mountain Giant pushing in yet again to try and take out the fortified town center. There is a Jason here and an Odysseus to help out, as Izamato just continuing to full send onto this position here. As the Jason goes down, and it looks like this attack will be over for the moment here for Izamato. He's got to start pulling back and thinking about what to do next. He's still just continuing to just full send here at the moment. Can I check the damage on that taster? I can. 1892. That's a huge compared over to here. 588. It's a huge amount of damage. The army is, what, 2,000? Mr. Ram's now saying, all right, what if we kill off some military buildings? I think this is the way that Izamato should have approached it, because he was killing off these military buildings over here and not just trying so hard to kill off the town center. Would have made a much bigger difference, getting a lot of value there as the villagers coming up onto this spot. We'll spot Apoy dropping a fortress here. He's got to have an eye on the mini-map to notice this, however. He could convert all these villagers into berserks and stop this. 13 seconds remaining. Focusing too much onto this fight over here. No real answer for those Peltas for the time being. And Apoy looks like he will be getting himself this fortress. And I imagine the villagers are going to meet their demise as well. As now he says, oh, I missed that one. One villager goes down. Two villagers goes down. Nope, no. Manages to keep one of those alive. He's going to be able to pull back. It's the portable rams now. They can tank. This is all Peltas, it looks like. 32 Peltas and a huge amount of berserks now coming through. This is going to be a scary army to deal with. However, Apoy has clicked up to the Mythic Age through Hera, and it's not on that town center there. It is on a different one. He will be able to clean up the Underworld passage nicely. Underworld, or not Underworld, but Restoration to come through as the Peltas popping into the town center to try and take out those Thrown Axemen, doing a good job of that. As all of these portable rams will be able to break through the fortified town center. That one goes down finally. Izamato has made some ground here with this portable ram spammage. But Apoy says, hey, I'll just get the town center back up. No problems. I'm going Mythic Age. All of this attacking, you're just throwing resources into me. And I'm going to be able to get my tech in. And I'm going to be able to consolidate my position here. Also, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime there, Defiance. There's a marker coming up for Izamato on the front. But he has dropped down to 150, 190 population. Struggling here. He does have a huge amount of gold, however. As he does buy that food immediately. And now going up to the Mythic Age through Hell. But he is a little bit behind here. As Apoy will be Mythic Age quickly. He will be able to have 4 heroes out to deal with the Nidhogg. Especially Bellerophon, who can chase the Nidhogg around very, very easily. It's a whole bunch of Toxotes coming through. This is like a full archer army at the moment. There's barely anything in this army that can really deal with what Izamato's got. This is portable rams just tanking up everything. Those pacifists don't kill them. The Toxotes don't kill them. The Peltas don't kill them. But guess what does? Lightning Storm. As that one's going to come through, take out a huge amount of villages. Portable rams to go down as well. Lysimato valiantly fighting, but he drops down to 110 population here. Now, I have seen the Nidhogg killing off this amount of units before very, very quickly. A bit of a revenge god power could come through. He's just got to sort of bait it a little bit. So throw an Axeman, popping forward, trying to bait these units here. There's still no heavy archers in, which is going to make the Nidhogg hurt even more. As he's charging in onto this spot, but look at this is going to be brutal. Right now, Nidhogg comes through, flies in, and say goodnight to that archer ball there as it all gets melted by the Nidhogg. Lightning Storm kills off an army. Nidhogg. All right, quick guess for how much damage? 1,024 on that Nidhogg in a moment. As now Izumato says, time to fly elsewhere. As he's going to try and deal with it. The rock giant going down very, very quickly there. And Izumato, what can he find? A couple units starting to congregate on this area here. Can look in to take down the main town center. As Bellerophon getting sniped. Izumato fighting very, very well here to try and keep himself in the game. Still hasn't got this town center up. He's still behind by many, many resources. There's another Bellerophon to come through. Over onto this side, the Nidhogg, however, comes through. The Bellerophon's inside of the fortress. As he pops out, Heracles as well, now in, and Izumato, oh, he missed he had the thing and then he clicked on it. He would have had a huge, it was almost the highlight. This Nidhogg is just doing so much damage here as Apoy charging in now with the Bellerophon will get some good damage done, but villages falling very, very quickly here as Apoy is in mad panic to deal with this Nidhogg. Up onto this top side, fire giants coming in all over the place as Izumato has gotten Apoy's villager count down to 74. As the Nidhogg to pull away over onto the ocean to come back up to the top side here. And Izumato with this one Nidhogg has managed to get so much value. Hang on, another quick check. 3,811 damage on this Nidhogg. Cleaning up fishing ships on the water as well. Over onto this side, the hoplites coming in. As those are going to get dealt with. Meanwhile, into the main base, the Jarls looking for damage in here as well. He did lose the town center, by the way, after all is said and done. Which does mean, he actually had to convert a huge amount of villages to berserks. So, huge damage dealt with the Nidhogg. Huge damage taken with the hoplite movements. Up onto the top side, however, the main base going to be in a very difficult spot. Look at Apoy's income. He has nothing. He's got a gold mine over here. He's got a lot of villages on wood. He's got very small amount of food income. He's going to charge back over here and try and deal with this. This town center up here going to be coming through. Let's look at the army here for Izumato. Disgustingly strong. At 175 of 175 pop here. 5.4k military resource value to 2.5k. As the Nidhogg flying through, sees more villages and says, hello there, sailor. As he's going to be burning them alive here with that special ability, killing off even more villages. Up to 5,300 damage. As the Bellerophon says, I got to get over here. Got to take out these myth units. Picks off a troll. Can come in and take out the fire giant quickly. The Nidhogg kind of getting left here as it will end up falling now. Medusa's coming in as well. Town center on the front. Still alive as Heracles is going to immediately take out that cave troll. This one Bellerophon Could be getting huge value here, but Apoy not controlling it onto those fire giants. And the town center will end up falling over onto this side still. Raids coming through. Heliopolis killing off houses and everything else. Both players having an incredibly tough time here organizing this. Izamato here with the military advantage. However, still losing stuff over here, taking huge damage all over the place. The Nidhogg is down as well. However, how do you deal with this army? More Medusa coming through. More Bellerophon needed. Jason is in. Odysseus can come through soon as well. Villagers onto this gold mine to come in as we'll see how things are going to go as the Heliopolis cleaning up the longhouse. Onto this side. Watchtowers goes down. Jason goes down. Izamato's Goaty. We're going to come in here. Going to try and deal with this stuff. Small units getting picked apart here from these Medusa. But the next town center going to be going down. Apoy can still pull this game back. He's still got villages. He's still got an economy. He just has to get things out. More Medusa coming through. As he's picking these guys off beautifully with those. Still could get heroes out, but he's not doing so. Any other random units attacking? Not at the moment. Izamato also has no gold. Wait, is there no gold on the map? There's no gold on the map for Izamato. There is still a gold mine for Apoy. He might just be able to find a hold here, ladies and gentlemen, with, simply put, the fact that he has a gold mine remaining. However, trade route started. Going over here, 41 gold a trip, not bad. He's got himself 13 trade caravans in at the moment. But now Apoy has held. Now Apoy has held. And then what? A hill fort coming up on the front just to lock this position off. I like it. He needs time. He's got to get his town center back up here. He's got to get that trade route going beautifully. We see some more Heliopolis over onto this side to sneak through and take down more buildings on the bottom here. On the other side, you have to remember as well, Apoy's had donkey caravans for quite some time. The donkey caravans are going to, I think, the wrong town center, but at least not all of them. It's 52 gold. It's totally fine. And Izamato going to get himself back up an army. It's an army of Ulfjarl, Throwing Axemen, versus the Medusa mass of Apoy. Very, very potent at this stage of the game. The Peltas, however, not that useful. Can Apoy also afford a Bellerophon or not is the big question. That's going to be a big help. There's a couple of units going on a bit of a raid here. Got, what is this? 2 Hypaspis. I thought those were Myrmidon for a second. 2 Hypaspis, 2 Toxotes, and a whole bunch of Heliopoli. So the guards for the Heliop. This is like some sort of campaign mission here. You get 4 units and 2 siege weapons. You got to push through the entirety of a Norse base while defending up to the top here. Now, Izamato has 2 options here. One can be to aim for 250 favor and click Flaming Weapons again. The other one could be to aim for 350 favor to go for another Nidhogg. Because myth units at this point against the Bellerophon, it's a little bit scary. As Izamato going to be denying the town center. We are seeing ballast is starting to come through. This is scary. These things hurt. An amazing counter for Peltas, indeed. These are, they do so much damage. 35.2 pierce damage per second. That's a huge amount of damage. Now, obviously, not all the arrows hit all the time, but still. Meanwhile, over onto this side, Izamato's town center under siege. As this game is not going to be... this is why I was going to say this game's not going to be finishing anytime soon, but I guess losing the town center, losing the trade route, losing the army, all in one go there does push Izamato out of this game, and Apoy manages to hold on after all of the chaos and converts the win. That was a game, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are enjoying Athenian League, Chrono JJ. What an idea here. These guys are playing out of their mind. Now, it is a best of 3, so Boit has come out victorious, but there are 3 games. So let's get into game number 3 and see how it goes. Game number 3. And we move into the craziest map you're going to see. This is Athenian League Season 3. And this is not Land Unknown. This is The Unknown. Holy moly. In the right-hand corner of the map, we have a Boit playing as Set. In the left-hand corner of the map, Izamato decides it's time for some noir action. And just take a look at this map. Everybody, let's just come join in the center here of this map. This is a tiny map. It's got a huge amount of gold mines in the center. It's going to be fun. This is going to be wild. There's a huge amount of hunt. This is going to be aggro, I assume. Maybe not. Anyways, it's a cage fight. That's exactly right. Get in here and get in the cage. Socrates asks, what's the piano brand of that? It's a Yamaha. Something. Something. The map name is Unknown. The Unknown. Not Land Unknown. The Unknown. The Unknown can spawn a whole bunch of different iterations. You can spawn water. You can spawn a map like this. You can spawn wild maps. But yeah, this is going to be some fun. Over here we've got some relics. We've got the Gugnir Odin Spear. Over onto this spot, we've got Hecate's Torch. Up onto this side, we've got that Titan's Treasure there. And finally, Feather of Befang. This one, I like this one because it makes sure units kill off buildings faster. You know how it is? Buildings? Got to kill them faster. Nonetheless, for those of you tuning in right now, Boit has already won this series. However, because it's a group stage match, in order to try and prevent tiebreakers and things like that, they play all 3 games. And it helps with like settling some stuff towards the end of the group stage so that there's no crazy tiebreaker situations. But anyways, Set versus Noir on this map. I got no idea. What would I do? Well, Set here, you've got the Anubis angle to go for a whole bunch of spearmen and try and put a whole bunch of pressure on. You've got the Wadjet angle, the Dart angle to make those sort of things try and work. You've also got a Farsican Town Center angle. But on with some nice gold mines actually and playing Set could be a way to go. Up onto the top side, you've got these animals here. You can lure them into the town center with your priest or something like that. It is possible, right? I'm actually not sure. I thought it was possible. As Izamato being a little bit annoying here on these boar. I don't think this actually resets them. I don't think it does. There you go. See, the ball gets converted, no problems. Yeah, Earthwall is going to be Earthwall's going to be pretty good because it's a pretty small map. So it's going to cover a lot of area. So maybe the best idea here for a Boit is actually just to do a town center sort of idea, rush for some siege so you can break through that sort of thing. So the goat's getting taken over here. Izamato now going to be making his way to drop this town center. As far as I know, it's impossible to attack neutral animals with priests. Okay. I thought maybe you could right click on this or something and turn it off, but maybe not. But immediate town center for Izamato, and he does decide to drop the earth wall around his main base. As the Chongqi coming through gets a couple of slaps onto the villagers. It does decide to dive into the town tower here. Nice little pressure for the time being. But this priest here will be enough to say, excuse me, Mr. Chongqi, I'd like you to leave. As Boit is making his way up here now to grab the town center on this left side. I'm surprised to see him go for this one. And yes, he's got a gold mine here. Fantastic. But there's no food. This one on the other side, much better. You could just shifting sands onto it, no problems. Anyways, he's going for this one. He's going to be nice and close, so this is scary. It could be a rush for siege here from both players, like you rush for catapults, like citadel catapults, or segment catapults, and on the other side you rush for some of those crossbowmen. There's a military camp power for Isamata coming down to defend a little bit. And we'll see what a Boit can come up with. Because there's just so many different options, really, for set. So many different options. As the animals come through, deletes them all. Gonna start eating them. He's also got the boar there as well. So it's a good, healthy amount of food underneath the towns. And he's got these boars as well. As the relic here, Hecate's Torch, to come in and make his god powers a little bit cheaper to recast. He's also grabbed himself the Titan's Treasure as well. Make his age up time going to be, or age up cost going to be even better. On the other side, Isamata hasn't grabbed anything just yet. Dax, thank you so much for the subscription, my friend. Nitin Bish is asking how to find games online easily. I'm pretty sure you can just click quick match and go into a 1v1 very, very quickly if you want. There should be some players searching for it. Let me have a quick look at how many players are in quick match at the moment. Actually, I don't know. It's hard to tell. There's currently 18 people searching for quick match games right now, so that should be almost immediately finding one, I think. If you want to play a team game, it might be a little bit harder to find them. I don't know. You can also play ranked. Clairvoyance now coming through for a Boit. Getting himself his buildings to go to the next stage. On the other side here, we do have that Gormang queued up. And Isamata. Isamata is probably going to get there. Oh, I don't think he's going to get there first. Both players are a little bit slow here to the heroic age, I think, in a situation like this where they're both kind of... We are seeing a couple of units out for Isamata, so that's going to be why he's slowed down a little bit. But no units out for a Boit is kind of slow. He is being a little bit of a slow heroic age. But he needs these units, I guess, to deal with the Cheongchi as that's scouting around. Cheongchi's got a lot of room to fly around the outside and push in, but the priest's in, getting just a little bit of damage done. So the Cheongchi will be able to survive for the time being. And I imagine now advanced time to come through, and he does decide Sekhmet, the god of choice. Got to be careful here. He didn't queue those villages. It happens so often. You just sit there and you're like, I need to do this, right? And then you just forget, and then you sit there going, why is my economy so weak? Nonetheless, Noblitz going down, and we will be seeing Little Vision to come in just to see what's going on. Gormang and Sekhmet, very similar timings here. But the game here is going to be a nice big fat boom before all the action to start, as both players are playing somewhat of a treaty here. So it's not, I mean, there could have been a whole bunch of pressure that could have happened here from the side of a Boit or from the side of Isamata. I mean, you can attack here, you can put pressure onto this. I mean, it's just so annoying to take out the earth wall. So deciding to just go for the tech approach does make some sense. The question is, behind this, what do you do? Are you going for heroic age all in, or maybe you can do some other kind of stuff as the Citadel gets dropped? If both players are going to be booming like this, maybe going straight for the mythic age isn't a terrible idea as well. However, if I'm playing this as Isamata, I'm looking to get myself out those these guys, the crossbow dudes as fast as possible, so I can start sieging down the Citadel Center and everything else. Is 2 Qualifus only standard for Noir? Is that what's happening here? Wait, that's the wrong one. It looks like it is what's happening here. I wouldn't say it's standard. Definitely not for Hal 2. Hal 2 you want to get more Quaofu out for sure. If you're playing the other gods like come on brain, Zhennu or Chiyo, then you can get away with building Yatsa, getting those upgrades, or going the other way and getting things like reincarnation, etc, etc. There's the Chukonu slowly starting to come in. Also, Ballistics, Bombo on the way here for Boit. And this is what I'm talking about. The Siege Crossbow immediately in. It's forces Boit to do some stuff. And Boit is going to be going for what looks to be mass Chariot Archers. At least with a couple of Camel Riders and things like that. Siege Works, double Siege Works coming up on the back there. Now, Boit can grab his Pharaoh, empower the Siege Works, and make that work. I say more Quaofu because of the eco tech. Well, no, mostly just like there's other things you can spend favor on inside of the other gods. The eco tech is fine, but it's not the reason for more Quaofu. It's just like the best usage of the favor within how to. I mean, you can make a whole bunch of Shang-Chi if you like, but still. As Boit overextending just a little bit, going to pull back underneath this town center here, and Izumata needs to also respect that, but some more siege crossbows on the way now. And the whole entirety of the map is currently getting walled up. Got to be careful. There is a bear here that can gnaw down on a villager, but still. It's in Bisht. I've been matched one time. Should I use... No, it shouldn't. You shouldn't need a VPN to play this game. That doesn't make any sense. You should be fine. I don't know what's going on. Are you searching for 1v1s or team games? Anyways, the Chariot Archers to come through. Sniping down a Chukonu. Almost sniping down a Chukonu. But the Izumata White Horse Cavalry do manage to catch him out of position. Sniping a couple of those. As Boit pulling behind his walls. Gets a little bit of revenge fire in. As the White Horse Cavalry will say, hey, let me get through this wall here. That villager is going to go down. Meanwhile, over onto this side, army kind of charging forward. Siege towers looking to break through here as the White Horse Cavalry searching for something to kill up the top side of the map. There's nothing there. He's got to get back over onto this position and defend himself because there is a lot of units in here at the moment for Boit. As Boit spamming as much as he can, we will see the forest protection, god power coming through. And it does look like Izumata is going to be able to hold here for the time being. As the siege tower is going to be going down, the army falling, and Izumata is now in a very, very good position. So Shang-Chi will end up falling. And so far, so good here for Izumata. He's defended all of this heroic age stuff. And generally, when you fall behind as set, things aren't going too well. But we'll see if Boit can bring this game back as Baoulé is coming into the center of the map, securing more gold mines. Villagers popping up over here to start repairing up the Migdol stronghold. It's 2 siege crossbows. Is that going to out-damage this? I think it does slightly out-damage this one. I thought this pre-queue, but there's no food income at the moment. As Chariot Archers over here going to get picked off. Going to pull through the gate here as the army gets confused. Says, wait, I can't. Oh, dear. Oh, okay, well, we can't chase anymore. As Boit still trying to just jockey around this map. But underneath 2 Migdols. Should be okay here to hold for a little bit longer. Does not have himself the watchtowers or crenellations at the moment, so... The Migdols aren't doing as much damage as they potentially could be doing here. But Boit does manage to pick off quite a few units, holding for the time being. Bunch of villagers going to be sitting idle here for Apoy. He's got to get those sorted out, but very rare to see this. Heavy Chuko Nu coming in. Chuko Nu White Horse Cavalry. You might be like, why this comp? And I think the reason is, well, Chuko Nu have got the most DPS out of any ranged unit in the game. They've got the most DPS per pop. Per pop, right? The most DPS per pop. They're 3 pop. 14.3 at the moment. Compared over to this, which is 9.2. It's a huge DPS advantage. And it's kind of chewing through those camel riders. I think Apoy needs elephants here to deal with this. These things are strong. Now, obviously, the chariot archers can kite them for days. They can space them for days. But you have to micro. You have to micro very, very well to make that happen. And at the moment, Izamato, he's at full pop. And Apoy is struggling for resources. I mean, to be honest here, I would probably be building Javelineers rather than building the Chuko Nu, but it looks like this is working. Maybe this is the best way to deal with all of this. It's the siege crossbow. Going to slowly start getting taken down by the chariot archers as the Migdol will live. Villagers up to the top bit, grabbing all of this food, all the other good stuff there. Meanwhile, upgrades now starting to come in. We've got that Hooves of the Wind, heavy cavalry pre-queued. More siege crossbows on the way. One thing here for Izamato that he's struggling with is food income. He's only now starting to build farms. Take a look. He's got no upgrades. He doesn't have plow. Doesn't have this really, really important upgrade that boosts your wood income through the roof. What is it called? Something forest? Vibrant land. Not something forest. Vibrant land. Get that vibrant land tech in, and your wood economy goes. You don't need that many villages on wood anymore. It just goes through the roof. But yeah, basically in this sort of a position, you need to quickly go up to like 50 farms. It's very, very tough to make this happen naturally. As Vibrant Land's now coming through. And Apoy still trying to make these siege crossbows work, but the chariot archers, while they only do like 10% of their damage, or however much it is, still with that many chariot archers, you take that siege crossbow down pretty quickly. So we are still in a little bit of a stalemate as the food situation starting to creep up. Gold situation, however, for Apoy a little bit dire here as he's moving up to this top gold mine. If we take a quick economic check here, Apoy's got everything except for irrigation. On the other side, irrigation, everything except for irrigation there as well for Izamato. So there is a bit of a villager advantage here moving forward, and Thoth has managed to queue up. I want to see Apoy moving away from these camel riders into elephants now. He's going to have a whole bunch of very, very important upgrades to come. It's not just Valley of the Kings here with Thoth. The big upgrades like Tusks of Apatomark is so important. Book of Thoth as well, but Tusk of Apatomark, get more elephants in there. When you combine that with the Citadel, it's absolutely huge. You've already got a boosted population, so why not boost that population artificially even more? Is it called Book of Knowledge? Is it not Book of Thoth? Did they change that? It's Book of Thoth. Well, don't troll me. I know my stuff from time to time. What did I say? Did I call it something else? Not Book of Thoth? Always questioning myself. What's happening here? A little cheeky raid here from Izamato as he's going to be poking through, but after all is said and done here, Apoy has managed to hold. He's managed to get himself a very hefty amount of units out, and Izamato is just going to be sitting back here waiting to get meteored, and a meteor on top of the Ballet probably will kill the Ballet and erase this forest protection as well. Now, at this stage of the game, Valley of the Kings is like not that amazing. The thing with Valley of the Kings is it's incredibly it's still good, don't get me wrong, but you're getting it really early is when it gives you the most value. Right now, Apoy is at full population, so what's he going to get? You can't get any more units out at full population. As the Camel Riders coming up to the top, dealing with the White Horse Cavalry here. Still no Meteor coming through just yet. It's the White Horse Cavalry charging forward. We do have the Force of the West Wind and a couple of Catapult coming in as well. Animals are set waiting over here onto this spot. As the Chuko Nu just going to be pulling back into the main base. Aizumato says, hey, let me just get fully sorted into this Mythic Age, and we'll sort it out from there. We see a little cheeky Migdol coming up over here. All the walls in the world coming up as well. Markets can go into that corner there and get a fairly decent trade route happening. As Apoy splitting up his chariot archers as best as he can. He does manage to get a couple of them to safety, but he is going to get sent in here as the Meteor now gets shot down. Trying to take all of this stuff out. The chariot archers all falling. And the Palais there will end up dying. But Apoy's army gets cleaned. Right now, Valley of the Kings will be pretty good. Get those units back out. That's little bits of raids over onto this side. Aizumato actually has 0 gold income. He has 0 gold income. Where is Aizumato's army is also kind of dead. There's the Chuko Nu coming up to the top, pushing those Camel Riders away. Do have a cheeky little Qinglong over here that's going to get sniped down. A priest getting some damage done onto that one as it slowly starts to fly away. Will it fall? One more shot. 25 HP to Dream. The town center has fallen, and Apoy has found himself an advantage here after all is said and done. Last stand to come through. A whole bunch of heavy target cavalry as well on the way. But yeah, now the scary part for Apoy is how does he deal with these heavy target, these champion target cavalry? 1.5x versus Archer. 1.5x versus Cavalry. That's 3x versus Chariot Archer, by the way. It's also 1.5x versus Camel Rider. As the catapults getting charged in onto. The problem actually for Aizumato is he just doesn't have any population. He's at 92 villages with no population. He needs a town center. He needs fortified town centers, and he's just not going to be able to get one. Apoy's got this secured. In fact, Apoy could probably go for an extra town center here. He's obviously spamming units. Doesn't feel like he can afford it, but Qinglong's going to be joining in. There's more buildings falling here. And can Apoy manage to keep this strangle alive? Because once this gold mine is gone, I mean, he's actually sneaking a gold mine up to the top here. Apoy knows it's there, but he hasn't got anything over there. As the catapults still coming forward. Up onto the top, villagers pulling away from the gold mine. And now the big scary hero is in. Do have that forest protection on top of a ballet here, but Apoy doesn't care. He might need to care though, as we do have Li Jing in. Look at that huge root to come through, and also the Qinglong is getting huge damage done as Apoy pulls back to his Migdol. And the ballet does end up falling there. The Chuko Nu ending up falling. But look at this damage coming in actually from Aizumato's Li Jing. This guy does so much damage. Look at that. He's got 900 up to 1,000 already. He's a monster of a unit, but still, Izamato struggling for gold. He's got food, he's got wood, he's got no gold. What can he do now at this point? Boit continues to just spam his units in, trying to control the center of this map. And the Chariot Archer is going to be pulling back. We will be seeing Izamato's Qinglong falling here. And where to next? As it looks like Boit will have nearly complete map control. One ballet to come up here as Izamato desperately trying to get himself that gold mine. However, his main base is under siege. He's going to be losing the town center very shortly. And in that moment, Izamato does tap out, and Boit manages to finish this best of 3 with 3 wins, as he absolutely dominates Izamato in this series. But a really well fought series here. The score does not tell the story at all here. This was incredibly close. Could have gone either way in multiple different times. I don't know what else to say other than hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, make sure you hit the follow button, subscribe button to catch more of these games. And I'll see you guys in the next one.